Karma isn't gentle. It arrives dressed in silence and ruins. They thought silence meant weakness, that your quiet meant you were finished, that your retreat was a white flag. But here's the punchline. They weren't watching closely enough. While they danced on your grave, you were digging tunnels beneath their throne. Every insult they threw, you caught it, crushed it, stored it. Now you're feeding it back to them like poison in a pretty glass. Cheers, darling. This is what happens when they write your eulogy too early. They laughed. Oh, they loved laughing at your struggle, at your doubt, at the tremble in your voice when the world grew too heavy to carry. But you didn't crack. You calcified. What they saw as weakness was your cocoon. And now you're crawling out. Wings soaked in venom. Smile painted with madness and eyes that scream. You should have finished me when you had the chance. See, people think karma is this soft whisper, a cosmic hug. No, karma is a sniper. Cold, precise, distant. It doesn't shout. It waits. And when it strikes, it doesn't ask questions. It just switches roles. The pit they dug for you, oh, look at that, now it's their home. Fitting, isn't it? The same soil they tried to bury you in now buries their hope, their pride, their carefully crafted lie. This isn't revenge, don't flatter them. This is gravity catching up. This is the pendulum coming back around razor sharp. You didn't go out of your way to destroy them, you just stood up. And that was enough to make their empire shake. Because deep down they always knew if you ever really rose, it'd be the end of their illusion. Well, time's up. Welcome to the collapse. They mocked your pain, used it as entertainment. But here's the twist. Pain doesn't forget. It remembers addresses, it stalks in silence, and now it's moved in next door to them. Every dark wish they ever whispered about you, now it greets them in the mirror. That's not paranoia, that's prophecy. And you're just watching from the shadows, laughing as the ruins they built for you become their own. The rejected stone didn't break, it became a blade. They didn't just doubt you. They celebrated it, threw a party for your downfall, lit candles for your failure, toasted to your silence like it was a death sentence. But here's the twist. They weren't exiling you. They were inviting their own destruction. Because you weren't just the outcast. You were the omen. Every time they laughed, they sharpened the weapon that would one day slit their illusions wide open. They thought they were cursing you, but curses don't scream, they smile. You were the quiet one, the black sheep, the shadow in the corner. They couldn't quite explain, and that's exactly what made you dangerous. You didn't come to play fair. You came to shift the axis. You didn't rise like the rest. You erupted. And when you did, it rewrote everything they thought they knew about control. They hexed you with envy, banished you with bitterness, called your pain a weakness when it was actually the forge. You weren't breaking, you were boiling. While they bathed in comfort, you were learning how to eat fire. They had no clue, because preparation doesn't make noise. It burns in silence, and when it's done, it slices like the blade they didn't see coming. You were never the victim. You were the virus slipping undetected into their kingdom, waiting, watching. Their downfall didn't start when you fought back. It started the day they dismissed you. The day they looked in your eyes and thought, he's done. Because that day fate changed direction. And now you haunt their timelines. Every success you taste is a ghost dragging chains across their dreams. You weren't cursed, you were cast, a role written in rage, betrayal, and dark clarity. And the moment they tossed you aside, thinking you were finished, they triggered something ancient, something merciless, you. The curse wasn't spoken, it was born. Now here you are, smirking, while their world trembles like a house built on your name. The scariest thing about karma is that it looks exactly like you rising. It always starts the same way. A flicker in the mirror. A face they don't recognize but somehow know it's you. Not the broken version they fantasized about. No, it's the version they feared. The one with eyes like storms and a grin carved from pain. The reflection they swore they'd never face, but now it stares back, unforgiving, unbothered. Every insult they whisper behind your back, it's tattooed across their reality. Now you're a failure, they said. Now look who's begging for relevance. You'll never be enough, they claimed. Yet here they are choking on your shadow. The venom they spat fermented. And guess what? They're the only ones drinking it. Sip by poisonous sip. Cheers. They avoided the mirror for so long. Painted over it with fake smiles, empty wins. Hollow praise, but the cracks are showing. The glass is bleeding, and behind it is the monster they made. You, but not you, the you that survived. The you that learned to weaponize pain. You're not their reflection anymore. You're the reckoning. You see, mirrors don't lie. They preserve, they archive moments, the smirks, the gossip, the betrayals. And one day they play it all back, not with sound, but with reality. Now their days feel familiar because they're living in the storm they brewed. They tried to bury you. Now they're buried beneath what you became, and you haven't even gotten loud yet. This isn't about revenge, it's about reflection, watching them unravel, piece by pitiful piece as they realize the enemy wasn't karma. It was the version of you they unleashed. The mirror is cracking, and behind every shard is a memory they swore would never come back. But memories, they don't rot. They return. Every poison they served you now laces their own drink. They thought you'd choke on their words, swallow their lies like medicine. They fed you betrayal with a silver spoon, dressed it up like love and called it tough truth. But you didn't die. You digested every ounce of that venom and turned it into fuel. While they watched you stagger, thinking you were weak, you were learning how to breathe. Nast lighting. Oh, they mastered that. Twisting your reality until you couldn't tell if the pain was yours or their projection. You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're imagining things. But now they sit in rooms full of people who smile to their face and wish for their collapse. Paranoia is a mirror, darling, and it's crowded. You see, victimhood was the trap, but also the training ground. It taught you how to navigate darkness without begging for light. You stopped asking for justice and started becoming the consequence. They thought breaking you would be the end, but all it did was forge a version of you so lethal even karma takes notes. They built you a nightmare and called it your fault, and now they're living in it. The walls they cornered you in are crumbling over them. The silence they weaponized against you, it's now their prison. You screamed into the void. They laughed, but now that same void answers their every thought with echoes of everything they ever did to you. They called you too emotional. Remember that? As if feeling was a crime, as if bleeding was weakness. But now, they drown in their own silence. They sit in the quiet, haunted by the ghosts of their own cruelty. Meanwhile, you turned your wounds into war paint. You didn't just survive their poison. You became the antidote they'll never taste. You don't have to haunt them. Life is already doing the job. You didn't lift a finger, didn't scream, didn't beg. You disappeared. And that silence, it's louder than any vengeance could ever be. You see, when chaos leaves the room, it leaves behind a void, and they're drowning in it now. Sitting in rooms that once echoed with your presence, now filled with nothing but dust and regret. That chill in the air, that's not weather, that's you missing. There's no need to haunt anyone when life becomes the executioner. One by one, their comforts crack. The attention fades, the applause dies, and all that's left is them. And that gut-isting question, what did I do? You were the storm. They never prepared for the wildfire. They mocked while it smoldered. Now they pray for rain, not for healing, but to hide the damage. The universe doesn't forget. It plays its cards in silence. No announcements, no fireworks, just consequences stacked like dominoes, triggered by their own hand. You didn't have to strike back. You just had to exit because your presence was protection, even when they didn't know it. And your absence, that's the curse they never saw coming. They're scrolling now, watching from a distance, obsessing, hiding behind fake smiles while their soul unravels. Every wind of yours echoes like thunder in their chest. And the worst part? You're not even aiming at them, you just being. And that's the torment. You rose without them. And now they're stuck, choking on everything they thought they were above. They thought losing you was freedom. They were wrong. It was exile, a spiritual one. Because now every joy tastes hollow. Every win feels empty. You don't haunt them with rage. You haunt them with absence. And nothing screams louder than a soul that finally realizes what it threw away. Suppressed fire doesn't die, it evolves. They thought they were clever, shoving your fury down your throat, telling you to smile, be quiet, be good. But rage doesn't rot, it roots. It coils in the dark like a serpent waiting. You smiled on the outside, but inside you were building something. A volcano with patience. And now the ground is trembling beneath their feet. You remember it all, don't you? Every smirk, every time they dismissed your pain like it was an inconvenience. Get over it. Don't be so dramatic. They didn't realize that each time they silenced you, they watered something dangerous. That humiliation became heat. That betrayal became pressure. And now you walk with a calmness that makes the storm nervous. Your rage has matured. It doesn't scream anymore. It strategizes. It doesn't lash out. It executes. You don't throw punches. You build empires. You don't beg for respect. You make them choke on it. You've turned pain into power and power into presence. Now when you enter the room, the air shifts, the weak sense it. The guilty feel it. They taught you how to suffer. Now you teach silence how to scream. Every moment they tried to shut you down is now a weapon you carry without lifting a finger. They thought you'd self-destruct. Instead, you became self-made. And the rage they buried, it didn't vanish, it evolved. Grew fangs, learned to hunt without mercy. They're not afraid of what you say now. They're afraid of what you don't. That quiet stare, that unbothered tone, that Venom is calm, because deep down they know the fire they thought they snuffed out. It's alive, and it remembers every name, every wound, every slight, and it's patient because now you control the burn. Monsters don't scare you when you've made peace with the dark. They feared the shadows. You studied them, sat in silence with your pain until it stopped screaming and started whispering secrets. While they danced under lights and begged for attention, you slipped into the void and found yourself. You weren't lost, you were evolving. You didn't run from the abyss, you built a throne inside it. Let them keep their comfort zones. Let them gossip and laugh and pretend they've won. You were underground forging something they'll never understand. The nights you cried became blueprints. The hours alone became your training ground. And the fear, that old friend, you don't just live with it, you command it now. They said you were too cold. No, you were becoming calculated. They said you changed. Damn right. Isolation didn't break you. It built you. You went quiet. And in that silence, you rewrote your code, upgraded your soul, turned pain into precision. Every scar on your mind now a map leading you straight to dominance. While they played chess with pieces, you became the board. Every loss became a move, every betrayal a strategy. They never saw you coming because you were never coming. You were already there watching, learning, waiting. And when the time came, you didn't knock. You kicked the damn door down with a grin. You didn't go dark. You became the dark. And now when they look into the abyss, it looks back and it smiles. Because you're not the victim anymore. You're the variable, the chaos, the anomaly that rewrote the ending. And the monsters, they whisper your name now. You don't need to destroy them. Their own energy did. Isn't it funny? The life they whispered behind your back is the one wrapping itself around them like a noose now. Every curse, every cold laugh, every venom last wish, they launch them like arrows, but the universe has a twisted aim, and now those arrows are lodged in their backs, slow, silent, poetic. They said you'd never be loved. Now they cycle through hollow faces trying to feel anything. They said you'd go crazy. Now they pace at 3 a.m., haunted by echoes only they can hear. They said you were a failure. Now they wear fake smiles over fractured lives because karma doesn't shout. It mirrors and it's holding theirs up close. You didn't have to fight back. You didn't have to scream. You just kept walking while the fire followed them home. Now their peace is a performance. Their joy is borrowed. And deep inside they know every time they feel that emptiness, that static behind their eyes, it's a receipt from energy they once spent on you. They underestimated the cost of hate. Thought they could manifest your downfall without overdrafting their own fate. But the bill comes always, and it doesn't care if they forgot what they ordered. The collapse they prayed for you has their name carved into it now. And it doesn't knock, it moves in. Every spell they cast came with a return policy. Every wish against you came wrapped in delay. It didn't miss. It waited, and now it's home in their bed, in their mind, in their life. And you don't have to lift a finger. They living the punishment they hoped you'd suffer. Ashes don't mean death. They mean something's about to rise. They thought it was over. Thought the silence meant surrender. But silence is sacred. It's where the real work begins. While they celebrated your so-called failure, you were in the trenches, dissecting every scar, decoding every betrayal, sharpening every broken piece until your soul was unrecognizable. You didn't heal pretty, you healed with grit. You didn't run from your shadows, you invited them in, sat with them, learned their language, turned the screams into symphonies. This wasn't recovery, this was resurrection, and you didn't rise clean. You came back with smoke still clinging to your breath, eyes forged in fire. They mourned too early. They rode the arbitrary while your heart was learning a new rhythm, a rhythm not of survival but domination. They buried you under judgment, under shame, under lies, but graves are for the dead. And you were reloading. You were rewriting the ending they tried to seal. Now look at you, a blueprint made of bruises, a masterpiece stitched from madness. You didn't just survive, you evolved. Every crack they made in you became a window. Now you see through everything, every game, every mask, every trap. You became immune to their venom. Now you bleed thunder. This is your season, not of revenge, but of rain. You're not coming to prove anything. You are the proof. The world they tried to lock you out of nowhere hears your footsteps like war drums. They wanted to break you, bury you, forget you. But legends don't die. They transform. There's no revenge like success in silence. They're staring now, their eyes wide with confusion, coated in regret. They thought they knew you, knew your limits, your pain, your breaking point. But you moved in shadows, molded in silence, and now you're a storm they can't predict, a force they can't touch. You don't owe them answers. You don't owe them anything. You used to beg for recognition to justify the fire burning inside you. Now you walk in like thunder. No announcements, no warnings, just raw power wrapped in calm. Their voices fading echoes beneath the weight of your presence. Their doubts crumbling beneath the sheer gravity of what you become. You exist on a frequency they can't tune into. They'll watch you rise. They'll watch you claim everything they thought you'd lose, and they'll feel the sting of every glance they ever threw your way, every laugh they shared while you fought in silence, their pity, their scorn, their blindness. It's their burden now, not yours. You don't have to speak to win. You don't have to fight to conquer. Just be unshakable, unapologetic, untouchable. The loudest truth is found in silence. The deepest power is wielded without a word. They'll regret every moment they misjudge you, but by then you'll be long gone or standing tall watching them wither in your shadow,